All right, good luck to you both.
Well, we've seen these maps already when they played against each other last time, not in the same order, and Amimi Split is going to come up first, the one that Paper Rex did actually manage to win.
Yeah, for Split, honestly, that's a map I don't have too many questions about. Both these teams play very sane comps. They've both been rocking with the double duels. I think what we should be fixating on this series is Lotus, because Paper Rex have struggled to figure that map out. We were talking about it earlier, Mike, but last time they played that double duelist, double controller with no Viper, no Killjoy, they got ripped.
Halo semua, selamat datang di Nobar GNG versus Paper Rex. Let's see how they play.
Where they don't have a comp that really works. I think that weakness in the map pool could really be exploited today.
Absolutely agree with that. I mean, it was a real head scratcher to see the way that they played that comp as well. It wasn't as if, you know, we've got the sky, you know, we're going to front load some of these rounds and be hyper aggressive, guarantee that we're in our sides, let the Astra kind of flourish it in a post plant scenario. But it's a bit concerning if they don't change that up. But the next question then becomes, is like, where do they go again? Have they now had the time to re-prep? We know Paper Rex can turn around comps very, very quickly, but it just feels like such a big gap between where they were versus KC and where they need to be to make Lotus not a glaring concern in their map.
I will also say, though, Alex in the press conference, he said the Lotus comp that they did end up coming out with against KC, it was a Hail Mary. He was like, we are struggling.
That's just so terrifying to hear.
We had to
Hello.
Was it good enough?
No, it wasn't. Quite frankly, it wasn't. They got rolled by Carmen. I don't think the comp was
Nggak boleh pakai
right.
video.
It's Paper Rex, and I hate to say that because I love to be the person like, oh, they're not playing good comps, they're gonna lose. They're the team that's up. But the thing is that this team,
Anjir, enak kayak boleh ngudut di kamar anjir.
The maps that they have no business winning, they continue to win at this
exactly.
Gua kagak boleh ngudut di kamar.
Lagi
berak. Oh, lagi berak, pantesan.
Because it's the logical thing to do.
It's the logical thing to do, but they are the team to defy logic. I just that Lotus comp is the one that's a bit out the window. In my eyes, that's a little too far past it to really justify. But also not taking nothing away from Carmine Core being a fantastic Lotus team. Maybe it was exposed, you know, exponentially more so than another team.
I want to pull out from the map veto for a second and just talk about this rematch. I mean, first of all, yes, he's correct. But also,
Ini kalau kalah masih ada lower bracket sih.
Beat Paper Rex the second time. For so many of those players, it's their first time on an international stage. It's their biggest match ever. They made it to playoffs when so many people doubted them. And now they're again playing basically the kings of their region. If they can beat them a second time here in Madrid, make it into the upper finals, guarantee a top 3 spot at their first global tournament, that would be an incredible moment for this squad.
I think as well, when you think about teams and their first step onto the players individually, you talk about kind of validations, what does it, and claiming an international veteran like Paper Rex would be the second leg to closing out the grand finals regionally versus them in my eyes.
Yeah, I've been looking at the fan votes here. Gen G fans, where are you at? Also, shout out to Ulysses, by the way, who's currently hyping out the Gen G fans and the Paper Rex fans as well. But where do you guys sit with here? Are you 11% feeling like Gen G?
I think Gen G's going to win today. I feel like they're favored in this matchup. I think especially looking at this map pool, seeing that Lotus has made its way in. Gen G have just been so consistent throughout 2024. Their players have been stepping up to a new level, and it really feels like at some point the Paper Rex magic won't be able to work anymore.
This is the thing, it comes back to the same old for me. My heart says Paper Rex, my head says Gen G, unfortunately. I think as well, if some of these individuals on Gen G continue their performance, or even, you know, start improving on the performance we've seen far, you know, bubbling up with the tournament now coming into playoffs, a little bit more prep time, that's a real concern for Paper Rex if they're going to try and pull out some comp changes or really switch up the way they've been playing, if they've gone into that level of detail of the games we've seen already here in Madrid.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We do have also another curse. You know, we got the 9-3 curse. We have a few curses in this tournament. But whenever there's a rematch, whenever that happens, it does feel like the team that's lost before is somewhat favored going into it again.
Yeah, there certainly is. I think there's a pressure to do more, to improve, to look back on that match and learn from it. And Paper Rex is a lot better than that. The individuals have stepped up. They've gotten closer to finding their identity again throughout this tournament. I think that this is a moment for Paper Rex that if they can dispatch Gen G here, make it on forward, this is finally the game where it can kind of dispel the doubts that everyone has had around this team, around if they can do it again, on if they just have to rely on these hero plays, especially if they can do so dominantly or in 2 against Gen G, which I think will be really tough against a good opponent.
I don't think this is too hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any world where that happens, but if they can come out here and get a confidence win, not only is that people looking at them better, but for themselves, right? They're still rating themselves a 6 out of 10.
Exactly.
They're still low confidence. I think
They're
they
always a
need
10
to
out
win
of 10
today.
for me. Always.
No bias, no bias. But no, I absolutely agree. I think as well, it's really telling if to hear PaperX talk the way they haven't spent these last few days trying to reinvent the wheel almost, because that's the level of extreme I think need to go to hear Alex saying W Gaming's run its course, we need something else, now's the time to play.
PX lawan mana?
Just be the one that actually gives them
Lawan
what they need. We are
EDG
down
berarti?
to our final
Genji,
4
Genji.
teams. So let's get the playoffs started.
Oh, Genji.
It's Genji versus
EDG udah
KIRI
pulang.
and Sentinels taking on Loud. Day 6 of Masters Madrid.
Kalah dia lawan Loud si ADG.
Oh iya sih ini apa? PVP Pasifik terus PVP apa tuh?
Tokyo. Apa di situ apa?
Oh, kok aing hilang guys?
Apa hilang?
Oh kok?
Each other real quick.
What?
High five each other real quick.
I remember playing against you guys in scrims back in Iceland.
Yeah.
It's been a while since that.
It's been a hot minute. Yeah.
I remember you guys were insane back then. I'm super happy you guys are here representing the night with us. It's good for a change.
Nobody is standing in Loud's way as Loud make their way to the playoffs easily.
Com certeza, acho que essa última partida foi o nosso pico de performance até agora no nosso time novo.
Sentinels have done it. Sen City here to play.
At this point, everyone wants to beat us. So far, it hasn't worked out for them, and I don't think it will. Cara, a adaptação do QCK tá sendo muito boa. Eu acho que ele nasceu pra jogar com um duelista.
QCK, it just slaughtered BDG.
At the end of the day, anyone can like take it and win it. It's Valorant, so
It's true.
just who plays better that day.
나도 선글라스 끼면 돼? 자, 근데 원태가 되게 깔끔하고 좋았어.
깔끔한데 선글라스가 저팔계.
안돼 성범이
Can we win the Masters between me and Genji? I mean, definitely. And even if we don't make it far, I hope they do win the trophy for us, for the Asia Pacific.
Last game against Genji was a pet.
Ini Bonteng
Managed to
pakai video.
Aing sudah mencaya kok.
원래는 첫 목적이었는데.
Beli lagi.
Genji, this team looks
Kebayang pamer anjing. Toko mahal sampurna.
너무 이루게 돼서 기쁜 것 같고 남은 경기도 이제 잘 준비해야 할 것 같습니다.
Ada ini pada face reveal.
Monet played very well, especially with his calls and stuff. Like he's very confident, unlike the previous matches. I'm very proud of him. Our new kid in the block is ready. You're not gonna meet the same Terus.
일단 저희가 이제 딱히 증명을 해야 될 필요는 없는 것 같고요. 그냥 시장에 그것도 없는 것 같아요.
Timbuhan kemana dia?
no confiaron, pero mira, no. Llego con los míos y la grada explota. Le di la razón al que me quiso venir. No soñé mi habitación y ahora en primera me ven. No te hablo de labios.
Menang si Genji.
Vine por mi cinturón.
the king of Pacifics. But this is a different stage, and a stage that PaperX have conquered over and over again.
These teams, they have faced in Pacific, but then that was Gen.G proving themselves for their first time. People could write that off as an upset, as a one-time run, but now they're here in Madrid. They've done it again. They've made it to playoffs. They have another chance. I think if they can beat PaperX today, they can cement themselves as the best team from Pacific coming into this event, as a team who could compete for that title. But they're up against a PaperX that no matter how logical you think about them, no matter what you think is going to happen with this team, they always surprise. They always find that miracle, and that's what makes playing them so damn scary.
Yeah, PaperX is the definition of any given Sunday, really, of what you get on the day, especially now with going into the mix of potential composition changes to come out. PaperX not feeling fantastic about it. Gen.G now don't necessarily have a very familiar opponent in that regard.
What other team will play a comp for the first time after scrimming it once and then show up and look terrible in the first half, win in the second? Not to the same level. Not to the same level, though, man. They show up, they make a miracle happen, and then you'll talk to them after and like, yeah, we just weren't feeling it. Like, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, on the veins of Navi, Angel, he does currently hold the record for the most agents played in a single tournament, but Forsaken is one away. If he just whips out a seventh, a different agent win,
I mean, we see, we see them.
By the way, in half the amount of maps too, because Angel did it in 21.
Oh, okay, okay.
So maybe that is the key. Like you guys said, Forsaken, he has been creating a lot of the stuff here, and at least individually, Mike, he's been doing well. He's on form.
Yeah, definitely. I think just to double on from that, the real test for Gen.G would be as well if PaperX do completely, especially the fact that we're starting where we are, to start on split. If that composition gets changed, it'll be another validation for Gen.G to come out, obviously prep out the window and just perform bread and butter Valorant, which they've shown time and time again. They've looked very, very clean so far here in Madrid in terms of curveballs coming their way. They can do that versus a team like PaperX that are willing to just kind of push all in on a comp first time, bringing it out on the international stage. Massive bounce.
The thing is, normally when we say that on a desk or on a cast about, oh, you have to do it against PaperX, that's the exception. Gen.G is used to that. They've played this team twice before. They know about the chaos, and they've adapted to it very well. We're in Agent Select, and it's standard for once in a PaperX. Standard? It's double duelist style. It's the old standard.
Teams
have moved away from this, but it is still a good comp that I think works
Terus saya
very
kan
well.
jadi pakai ini
And I
lagi.
guess as well, banding the madness that was the Yoru comp as well, coming out from the split, which was the iteration that Gen.G played against last time in the regional finals.
I'm looking in this matchup
Jago dah, Nagi jago.
the rookies, Monyet, and on the other side, out from Keychron. Both those guys have come out in their debut international tournament and looked incredible. They're both on the run for one of the best rookie performances we've seen.
And probably been the two loudest on the stage as well.
Yeah, well, let's get this Pacific Showdown underway and send it over to your casters, who've been very familiar with the journeys of these two teams. It's Mixman and Tombiz.
Thank you so much, Insu, and our fantastic analyst desk. Yes, we're pretty familiar with these teams, as I'm sure
they played EDG, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. But, you know, we heard it from the desk. The only thing harder than beating a team once is beating them twice. PaperX know that from EG over at Champs. Now it's an opportunity for them to give Gen.G a lesson in that very same thing.
Well, that's the thing. I kind of want to touch on what Mike said earlier, where it's like a head over heart sort of situation. I also think it's mind over mental, because the way that PaperX play is insane. So you kind of have to almost center yourself. We've seen teams do that throughout the tournament so far. The other problem for these teams as well is, yes, they've played each other before, but as it was sort of said in the interview there, like the video we saw just before, they would both like it if Pacific were able to win. They've never managed to win an international event, and it's almost cruel that they get pipped against each other. The only good thing is they won't have to eliminate each other because one of them goes down and one of them goes forward. That's the only sort of saving grace for now, but it does mean that you're almost wanting to just, okay, both teams play their best so that whoever goes forward is going to be able to match up against America. So I think most people at the moment are favoring in this tournament.
Yeah, it definitely feels like fan sentiment, and even from what we've seen, Sentinels have just looked unchallenged throughout this tournament. Yeah. Other teams have had shakier starts, but
also you saw what Loud did in their last game. I'd be scared of them just as much.
Well, you know, talking about this map in particular, we're going to see Split popping up, and actually for the whole series, Split, Lotus, and Ascent, the first three maps of the BO5 that they played regionally, that Gen.G won dominantly. Now, the reality is, coming into Split, Tom, it's not exactly the same, because PaperX before, they were running Forsaken on a Yoru, himself and something were diving in, taking so much space and winning almost all of their opening duels. I think it was 13-4, correct me if I'm wrong, where Genji just got demolished on this map. So for
ini mapnya milih berarti ini ya, Genji ya.
come in and change their comps. Like we say, the hardest thing is to beat them twice. So they're bringing a new comp and a new philosophy on how to handle Split. The question is,
di upper bracket
this time, now that there's nothing spooky going on.
It also seemed like, at least for PaperX, once their comp was figured out, they were like, okay, let's change this one. We lost EDG, we need to actually try and fix the things we've got going on. The thing is, though, the same can be said for their opponent, because we saw Genji come in, switch into this composition, and just look incredible. Like, the double duelists especially, the only change they made was Omen in for Astra, just to allow them to be a bit more explosive, but I just remember that defensive half of Texture and Meteor. I think they both ended up with 22 kills, both were the best player in the server. It was like going toe-to-toe all the way through. So it is one of those matchups, as boring as it is, where we are just going to go, the duelists are the pinnacle. These are the players we have to watch. The amount of times that PaperX would have just got absolutely banged if it wasn't Forsaken just having life games. But the thing is, it's every time he plays Split, he has someone else's life game. It's not a Forsaken life game, it is, okay, for anyone else, that would be the best game they've ever played. Unfortunately, he does that every week.
Well, we talked about this on the desk. I heard Mimi say, well, okay, if you think it's going to be 2-0, who is the team to 2-0 it here? And actually, looking at the veto, right, Split last time went to PaperX, Lotus was super close. I mean, if we go based on what we saw in the past, maybe the foundations are there for them to take that 2-0, but I'm expecting a 3-mapper between these two teams. The best of the best. Pacific number 1, Pacific number 2, and it's time to throw down as the barriers go up on Split.
Yeah, and it's looking like we're going to get a brawl to start things off. Both teams with the majority of their players set up outside this A site. They both run pistols in this direction before. Good nade coming out of Forsaken already, and something might be peeking off the back of it. They're going to be stuck in the corner early on. This is a great start for PaperX.
Munchkin's in danger as well. He tried to jump away. Boombot was chasing him, but yet caught him.
Jumping.
For Genji, 2 versus 5, barely any damage done. At least they've still got the
semuanya tuh udah nggak pakai ini lagi.
Kalau di Essen.
Tapi emang gacor anjir per second.
Di Essen, di split. Iya, di split dia nggak mau. PaperX yang milih.
They're just gonna hunker down and wait for Genji to take a step forward and give them the
Ada yang
first
bandel,
pistol.
pasti mau pick.
Yeah, I think the scary prospect as well is that on this map in particular, we have seen some sort of rougher attack sides out of Genji. Obviously, that is helped a little bit by having that Omen instead of the Astra. It's an absolute
flawless.
Now, as I said, expectations
flawless story.
They'll win. If it's going to happen in this series, I think the next two, I would favour to Genji even more so because of the fact that we saw recently on Lotus the changes to the comp for PaperX, and I'll be honest, I didn't like it. It didn't look good. So this is the map that I feel like PaperX have to win. The problem is, throughout this tournament, I've said that, and then they've won the other map. Because that's just how they are. They just manage to adapt. They have the individual players that sometimes they can just crack through a map. And that is rare. Like, it is very difficult to have people that are on that level.
At least from the games we've had, Tom, it has been an insane percentage of teams trading out their own map picks, losing your pick and winning your opponents. Genji, they've not got off to a great start, and as the push comes in, okay, actually they're getting close. The pressure's kind of being applied, but yet now blocked it up, he's taken down. Okay, it's not a bad start at all for Genji, gaining some ground, now winning some more fights. With heals up, okay. It looks like they've tied even. Very scary for a moment.
I would love to see Forsaken's POV in that, because what it looked like he did was jump down from the heavens with an outlaw in hand and try and face their entire team. Now that would be ridiculous to even attempt, but
do you know who he is?
Yes, I do. He just lost his gun. It's now been given to something, and he's bought a judge to replace it. So that, again, if you're talking about Forsaken, he's basically answered the question himself.
Well, it looks like we're going to be using that dash very early on for something. He's getting aggressive. Wall goes up. He's ahead of it. Looking to take some.
No!
Got the shot off. 10 HP left on Meteor. But that's the one problem. If you're the one taking contact with that outlaw, you're not going to kill the player.
Sky.
You need to get out.
That's the thing. Back up, so that it's actually not that problematic.
Nggak kena. Kena dikit dong.
Heading over in that direction.
Enggak, itu
Bear in mind, this purchase is fairly
Viper doang.
PaperX. Normally you'd see a rifle or two in the mix, but
Oh.
this is just SMGs. It can work, more so on split than probably any other map. It's
Duh,
probably
gatal.
fairly nasty,
Bujur.
but that's the thing I've really enjoyed about Gen G. They've been methodical, they've been careful throughout this tournament. They are not one of those teams that are just aggressively running in and blitzing their way through rounds. They can, they have the skill to do it, but they're always, especially in these sort of rounds, very careful.
It looks like caution's paid off for them. Whatever noise they made on A has sold it to PaperX. Who are now running the gamble on an A stack. Of course, there's an outlaw there that could be retrieved.
Retake guys, retake.
Pick it is in heaven. Because that spike plant should be coming down in a little bit. PaperX, hear no noise, see nobody here. There's a flash still on the buy that could be used to clear outside of it, but this late on in the game, you're just going to sit there, hope they dive into you. And as we can see, they've gone to the exact other side of the map. So PaperX, you know, it's hard to get back with these weapons as well, especially a side like this where pretty much every fight on the way in is long range.
See, normally you talk about, okay, maybe going down to the spike or just trying to hold for exits, but I am waiting for Forsaken to attempt to try and blast back through something, and already, Mind Freak taking a lot of control. Now, Texture in a fairly solo position. There's a chance. There's the blast backs already. And judge exactly what Forsaken does. He got a rifle, but very short-lived.
Well, anjir.
Even with a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, I mean, they spread themselves out there. Lots of space. So you gets up close. He's only getting the one, and it's an immediate drop. The rest of the players easy to deal with.
Iya, internet kayaknya.
Advantage.
Lu kita lihat sih.
2-1.
Hah?
It's a fairly bog standard start to the
Lu di
game.
toilet
Pistol
sih.
win for PaperX.
Enggak anjir, udah.
And then they lose. I mean, the one thing that we'll say is that maybe that third round could have seen a bit more damage out of that side. But again, they did gamble on a site. It didn't work out. This is what happens. The opportunity, though, to deal that damage here is we get the operator out on something right away. And the shot has not landed, but yet good for one. Site under threat. But Gen G back off. The whole time they've been leaving Meteor outside of A to catch a rotation. He hasn't found one, but one can assume that rotation's going on through the spawn right now if you're Gen G. They don't know that Mind Freak's still very much close.
Yeah, they also flash mid on the defensive side, so they have the information that there was no one there, so they're able to gamble an early rotation in towards this A site. Forsaken, still with the judge, is just going to make sure he keeps control in mid, but it's slightly more stacked up than you might expect. The only problem is he might get caught. He's switching between utility. Finally, will pull the aggression. His teammate gets absolutely nothing, and wow, there is the 4 of the judge. Not going to find anything more, and for something, I hope to God he's going to save.
It's not the round you want to see him throw his life away for, is it? A 1v3 with the op? Possible, winnable, but not to be. If you had a few more kills along the way, a few more orbs picked up, something like that, maybe you'd risk it with the Blade Storm, but even then, the op is just so expensive. Doesn't want to throw it out. For Gen G, I think they're sort of realizing that they heard the op earlier on, right? They know that it's in play right now. So they're gone spread out. Already sending Munchkin to try and find this player. And it looks like he might be safe.
Kamera maksudnya.
Start hightailing it in that direction now. Next round, but just look at the credits on PaperX. It's not like they're going to be able to fully recover into a standard buy. I think the pendulum's kind of swinging in Gen G's favor now at 2-2. Economy's under their control, and ults will come online soon.
Yeah, and as I said, when we saw them play against CDG, they had a really stellar, aggressive and confident defensive side. So I think for them, any sort of grinding out of these early rounds is going to be really important. Sure, you're still going to have an operator onto something, which alone can be enough to cause issues in the round. But as said, they've been methodical. Their utility's been good. They instantly had a snake bite that went through to deny him that early aggression. It's expected at this point. And by the looks of things, they may even just be going for an early A take. They are all set up outside.
I liked what I saw last round. I don't know if you caught it in the replay, Tom, but a fist bump into a high five. See how many high fives there are for Gen G after this one. They've got a lot of space, but that flash was perfect. Deadly from the
Iya, dia nggak tahu, nggak sadar.
towards the elbow, another fight. And he's actually got a teammate in there. I don't know if they've seen Forsaken, but they certainly have now at heavy cost. Majority of PaperX players. It's
Dan terjadi lagi.
1v2 he didn't go for the 1v3. It's tempted him. It's pulled him in for the fight. He hasn't found them to start off though, and that dash already halfway up. Wants to close the distance. So many tough angles, tight angles to clear with this op in hand. And no idea there's a player up top. He's checking the road.
What the fuck, man? Manskin gila.
Ready for that play. The third round found Gen.G running away with this early game.
Yeah, still a close round 4 was invested. That was a decent stack up in the early stages for PaperX, just basically having the majority. And somehow managing to dodge some shots that I don't really know how they did, but bringing it down to just one player surviving, keeping that economy a little bit more honest for Gen.G, and well, you see the danger of how fast that is with the operator. The problem though is he's not going to be able to have it for this round. They didn't have the extra
harusnya diganti pistol ya.
Quick trading again, the
Ada short
Gen.G sublime.
Dar.
Cuman nggak tahu kalau dekat.
Itunya dok.
Iya.
Karena nggak ngecit sih. Karena kita ngeliat tembus.
This time around, PaperX have theirs, but also
coba kalau gua yang OP.
That's a big weapon
Gimana
in the
tuh?
back pocket of Forsaken.
Sayur-sayurin sama musuh.
Later on in the round for Gen.G, you can see their spread. This is a full default play. At this point, they're expecting PaperX to make some adaptations and to throw out some of that signature early round aggression. Still hasn't happened though. They're happy to bunker down and wait for that push to come through. Like I said, the other problem here, Gen.G have a lot of credits built up. If PaperX lose this round, it's going to be a skyrocket.
Oh, maybe when. That's not the start they were looking for. 2 players down immediately. Forsaken's been a hero before, but down to just 5 HP. That's not really going to work too well for them. And the Seekers went towards mid, but also in towards the A side. The realization's there eventually. Can win this battle, it could be huge. I don't think they're going to expect him. It's such an obscure position to be in, but then it's almost revealed.
Nice stuff,
Has done well. Bringing back 2 kills. The spike just about making it to the side. It's going to bait in. Nice work from the side of Munchkin. Teaming up with Texture. It leaves this man who did get healed up early in the round. As said, he's been ever so devastating. Showstopper might just be able to shoot the Viper's pit, but actually
Timing semua anjir.
doesn't even mind about that. I don't know if Forsaken realized, but it doesn't even matter. Loses the fight to his counter raise, and the march continues on.
Gen.G are having a field day right now. Like I mentioned, the economy was in their favor. The ults that were there for PaperX burned up in that round to try and gain some semblance of advantage. And Divide did incredibly well.
Si Tem sama si Zekernya itu cedera ACL. ACL mah tuh bangsat. Kan orang huri-huri karena bola hari.
Divide had that beautiful offhand and just ripped it to shreds. We're seeing elements of that team play there from PaperX. We're seeing individuals win some of their fights, but it's not enough right now. Gen.G have come locked and loaded with a huge lead to start.
Saya Alex Buson.
That's really the problem for me. You've got players 7K, 5K, 5 and above is average for the Gen.G side right now. PaperX.
This can be played in background, huh?
No ultis to fall back on. They ain't looking great. Off rip. Already, Gen.G have found the same number of rounds they did last time they played PaperX here.
Yeah.
Belum relax nih.
I think
kayak kemarin
really well
Nobar.
with the coaching staff, someone as legendary as Solo.
Di YouTube playbacknya berapa? 1,5 ya?
This guy has been around the block multiple times. And
Playbacknya 1,5 ya.
even just giving him a moment to talk here is going to be beneficial for them.
Biar lebih terkini, pasti normal sih.
It is just reliant on those individuals a lot of the time. I think we saw.
Gua Discordnya nyala ini, cuman nggak nonton stream di Discord.
Iya, ntar nge-like dulu ya lu.
Enggak, soalnya di Discord patah-patah.
Because they have those individuals that can turn rounds on their head. It's not the greatest stat you want to have ever, because you'd rather just be winning the rounds outright. But they need some of those heroes to come online, because they've been okay, but it's not been enough to take rounds off Gen.G.
Seen the numbers of clutches from Gen.G versus PaperX, but PaperX also do very well in those late rounds. Players like Forsaken previously bailed them from so many situations. Now, weaker weapons, like we said, and close range surprise factor is the best way to find value. Mindfreak has at least picked up one, but KANAN is making this one look easy. 3 kills already under his belt, 40 HP, and he's tucking in the corner. It looks like he's going to get this one easily with Mindfreak dropped. That's his 4th kill of the round. Confidence builder if ever I've seen one. And that's the last thing that PaperX wanted to do. Again, not talking about them losing the round. That's expected. It's the amount of players still alive on Gen.G. They're farming credits by the minute, but something has picked up one more. 3 to go. One hell of a play if he made it. mean, they gonna have it. Look at that firing squad down below.
Yeah, I think.
Supaya something nggak dapat senjata itu.
But Gen G have been so good playing off of each other, trading effectively. They don't even lose another member of the squad. 5 and 2, and I love the sort of switch up in tempo, especially in these anti-eco rounds. They're not allowing their opponents to really figure out anything that's going on.
Salah dia ngompet di situ Davai.
TP to the back of site, information clearing things out. The rest of the team quickly execute.
Asal di
Actually sticks around.
mana nggak tahu juga.
Keeps the control.
Bukan pro player.
Doesn't allow anybody to get too far ahead.
Posisinya itu pas kemarin tuh posisi apa tuh? Yang lawan Terus terakhir.
Hertix apa KC?
TH yang pakai omen. Mati di situ juga.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to get in here. As said, they're not bad in these 4v5s, but Gen G are even better in the 5v4s. Opener again.
Wah,
Takes down
kacau.
another Forsaken trying his best, but he's almost dead. It is and well, Lucky or Meteor. Might be one of the fastest rounds we've ever had in the VCT. That was so good from Gen G. And you can just see the more the confidence build, the faster these takes are getting. Gen G are getting opener after opener. They've used a couple of ults, but they're also able to stagger them. Like you're talking about, Showstopper used this round. Last round they used From the Shadows to get the same sort of information. Although that's already back online.
Yay, oh wow, huge.
Hey, got them the spaces around prior. And then Kara got 4 kills. That's why it's back online.
Waduh. Mancing.
Kenapa tadi?
Diri.
They're left to weaker weapons in theory, but they've actually managed to mix a buy with light shields and full shields on something because he doesn't need a weapon. He's got 5 knives locked and loaded. We'll see what he can do with those. But the reality is, yeah, the momentum is very much in Gen G's favor. The economy is riding high after several reinvestments. Just take a look at the credits on that right-hand side. It's looking pretty for a number of rounds to go, maybe for the rest of this half. Still possible for a 6-6 scoreline, but it has to start here with a much better defense. Now, we talked about some aggression from this PaperX side, seeing it early on in rounds. So with a minute left on the clock, they're going for it. Good paranoia, but the fights don't go their way. Gen G winning out every single one. There's no competition, Tom. Barely a lick of damage done, and what is heal? This is a disaster. Something might be able to save them. He's made big plays before with the Blade Storm. There's one.
Wah.
Kills.
Oh! Munya has a chance. Somehow this has come back into a winnable scenario. Just needs to hit. A nice try. I didn't think there was any way that round was going to become competitive. But somehow Munya made it close. The thing is though, again, you just
susah sih Genji tuh masih di atas PaperX anjir.
So ready. They had their whole team just waiting in mid, ready for that push to come through, and sure, the utility from PaperX was good onto it.
Wah, kalau kena kepala langsung menang tuh.
Players were so ready for that push to come in. It ends up being quite an easy fight.
Not even close, guys. Not even close.
Mereka sih biasa aja karena ini apa namanya? Karena temenan. Si monyet lawan tekstur.
Emang iya.
Iya, kan di GE dulu bareng. Tekstur tadi siapa terakhir? Karon ya?
Keychron. Enggak Viper.
Oh, Manskin berarti.
Mucikari. Siapa?
Manskin anjir. Jadi Mucikari.
Sheriff on Forsaken. And Texture's got confidence for days. He sees an eco and he's diving down into vents after.
Bu, kasihan sama si Alex marah-marah mulu pas ini.
Darahnya tinggi tuh dia.
They know that there's going to be weaker weaponry, so they're just not giving them any of the close range fights. Keychron up from above, there's not really an easy way to kill him. Maybe there is. Somehow Munya got past all the defenses. Even still though, this post-barn looks strong. Nade still available. They've been taking these sites so quickly that they've had no problems just having late utility. Wow, the time almost looks like it's gone. Trying to bait some space, but it's all too easy for Gen G. Another 3-man player. 8-2 on the board.
Istilahnya menang turun doang anjir.
9-3 lah biar Corsair keluar.
hard to think about. Even the round that was close, Tom, it comes on the back of the player needing a 4K to get it across the line. It's not what you want to see. Early on in the previously Gen G got absolutely obliterated on within their region.
Kenapa?
Now they come to the international stage.
Kasih pialanya ke kameramen.
Iya bener.
13 for us, well 13 to you. An opportunity here at least to shut down the Rockets on point. And when Lucky down, it looks like PaperX are set to finally put another round on the waited. It's KANAN to try to challenge, and he got an opportunity, but it was shut down eventually by something with only one standing. It's an easy win. 8-3. PaperX finally back on the board, but hell of a distance yet to go.
Yeah, and again, it comes off some individual brilliance out of Forsaken. Definitely had support. I think he doesn't get that kill if it's not for Munyet being able to kill off the close player.
Itu tadi roket langsung ke mukanya aja biar.
Tapi nggak jadi.
Strong attack in halves before, so even a sort of 8-4 scoreline wouldn't be a complete death sentence. I'm looking at two operators on the attack though. Obviously it's something that can be dropped, but they are waiting for aggression here, and it's.
Ayo tebak skor. 8-4.
Those ops are elsewhere. That mid control is going to be completely conceded to
Iya, majuin. Jo.
Tebak skor sampai akhir maksudnya.
Really swinging.
Enggak, yang ini half.
Maafin, half. 93 nih mah.
Perang.
8-3. PaperX tried a mid push, got denied. Now it seems like they're caught. One foot in the grave. They don't know whether to continue on that aggression or reset for the later play, and Gen G have not made a decision. With 1 minute 5 seconds on the clock, they don't need to rush. They're holding tight, waiting for PaperX to make the mistake.
They're so nervous of someone being within the smokes that are placed. Most of the time, those smokes are being put down by Munyet just to deter aggression, which is exactly what it's done. Texture though might have a fight because they're so passive. The operator could be so valuable here. There's no one on the side once again, but the spike is looking to wrap around in the other direction. Peek out from something. Oh,
ya, saling lihat.
Ya, enggak tahu.
It won't matter too much for now. It's gonna activate the dash. Something goes peeking, but now I'm just looking at that timer. TP into the backside once more. It's been cleared out, so the spike will be able to go down. This almost has to be a complete retake.
Oh, nice shot by Lakia as well.
Waduh.
There's his 13. Spike drop. An opportunity indeed with that spike down. 15 seconds left. It's time for Gen G to get a move on. Munchkin has to step out from that corner, and he's being caught. They need to dive on that spike and get it planted.
Bener kan, 8-4 kan. Enggak, gue 93 tadi.
From Gen G, Lakia leading the charge, and plenty left in the tank for this second half. You have to hope that PaperX have got something special planned on their attack, because this was a really, really rough scenario for them to have to fight.
Oh, gila Forsaken.
Kasih pialanya ke kameramen.
Kasih.
The fact is, there's definitely still opportunities. Even still though, you said Lakia's performance. Let's hear from him now.
Semenit.
2 menit.
안녕하세요. 젠지 e스포츠 소속으로 활동하고 있는 라키아 김종민이라고 합니다. 무엇보다 플레이오프에 진출하게 돼서 행복한 것 같습니다. 일단 첫 스타트가 되게 힘들었었고 오늘 또한 첫 경기 자체는 되게 힘들었는데 그거를 잘 극복해내서 좋은 모습 보여주고
Genji tahun kemarin ada nggak sih?
이제 플레이오프에 진출이 원래는 첫 목적이었는데
cuma di Pasifik.
Tim baru itu.
이루게 됐고
baru.
남은 경기도 이제 잘 준비해야 할 것 같습니다.
Di sana Genji Global Academy, tapi nggak ada orang luar ya.
번치킨 선수가 젠지에
Korea semua.
이 게임 스타일이나 그런
Korea semua.
올라갔다고 생각을 하고 이제 네, 개개인의
Parah.
시간과 이제
Kayaknya supaya ngobrolnya kagak susah deh.
주는 게 피드백을 많이 해주는 게 있는 거.
Iya, supaya nggak susah.
우리는 준비되어 있고요.
Cuma harusnya hapus saya tuh Global Academy, Genji Korea Academy gitu. Korean Academy
이제
gitu.
플레이오프까지 진출하게 됐고 이제 또 경기들이 며칠 뒤에 올 텐데.
Nggak sesuai nama.
더 좋은 모습을 준비해서.
Iya kan, kalau Global Academy kan berarti kan timnya mix, ada dari luar negeri, luar Korea maksudnya.
Global maksudnya global e-sport.
Oh, pantesan rekrut ini ya, si tekstur.
Well, it was third time lucky for Genji last time facing off against Paper X. Now fourth time fantastic, at least kicking off in that first half.
Anjir ada yang komen Kim Jong Un.
Now it's time for Genji to close this map out. At least that's their mindset going in. Paper X, their attack side is about to be put to the test, and the big thing to write home about last time was something. Diving into sites. The thing is, he had a Yoru causing a lot of chaos for him. Now it's a little bit more conventional, but that's never the name of the game with Paper X. In he goes! Something's looking Paranoia is perfect. Snake Bite's even better. And with 1 HP, lucky it doesn't stand a chance. The rest of the squad comes in to save him. But they've ended up falling to a 3 versus 1 with Meteor left standing in his back.
Monik.
Oh, Monik.
Iya.
Halo Monik.
Wah.
Oh ya.
Hampir anjir.
Udahan main Overwatch one. Gue ngeliat Overwatch main kayak gitu anjir chaos banget.
Kayak Fortnite ya, pusing anjir.
Dah nggak ada yang open cam, malu deh.
Gue doang.
Ditinggal Bang Black.
Bonteng lah.
Lah malah keluar.
Malah cabut emang kelakuan. Aduh, wah.
Opportunity for more, and he's landed that shot as well. Forsaken's very low, a big help to any teammates that end up taking that fight. We may talk about the outlaw, but this man's making it work with the Marshall, the cheaper weapon. Okay, an opportunity if they had have spotted the player in the corner. Monyet, though, able to deliver the killing blow. Mind Freak fell to his snake bite after
Monyet.
push from Meteor. You will rarely see a
Nice.
such a thing. Karen,
Rotate, kebir rotate.
serious opportunity. Yes, he's far away, but that might mean by the time he gets here, he could pick up a weapon.
Satu lagi di mana di midnya jauh anjir.
Because Paperex, that's the thing. The blitz plays of Paperex have been so fast.
They've
just thrown out the guiding light, the flash to get them
asal nggak mati
a
aja
bit of
tuh.
extra information. Still no weaponry found. Now
Happen.
He's brought up his full
What happened?
of utility.
Kecuali dia nge-troll nih.
Somehow isolate one of these jewels. Now it seems like
Dafai
waiting
sih
for that site to
ngeri
be taken.
nge-troll nih.
Smoke will give
Iya
away
anjir
the site
Dafai.
planted, and now he can look to try and
Iseng.
if there's any gun to be had, and well, there you have it.
Thank you, Yeti. Yeah, we've got a Bulldog to play with 100 HP. A Paranoia still online. Both smokes. Timing is key. And they swung.
Nice.
Oh anjir. Nge-swingnya gila coy. Wow.
3 players down. This definitely isn't how
Bareng
they wanted
tadi.
to start it. When I add to that it's a Marshall headshot. Okay, what can you do? Another Marshall headshot from a guy pushing
Tuh samping masih bliat gitu
That's
aslinya.
not gonna feel right. I mean, the player died to a snake bite. So few kind of random engagements that ended up, well, rocking the boat a little bit for Paper X. We'll see how they recover.
But the thing is as well, the player you really
Samping umurnya berapa sih?
be going over to his meeting.
22.
3 away from the blade storm.
Oh,
Even
tapi
with
kok
damage
lebih
this round,
dari saya ya?
something for the next. Now this purchase
Lu kelihatan
of
kayak
Paper X
30
has
tuh.
players now really low on cash. You've got Forsaken and Mind Freak down at 150 credits. So for the next round, they might be in a little bit of trouble. Forsaken though, he's just gone walkabouts. He's sprinting
Aduh, nggak
after
kena.
to land the shot. At least for now, it's only going to be the control that's lost for Genji.
No heavy price tag associated with it. Down in vent, this is an uncouth.
Tuh nunggu 2 orang di bawah.
Waduh dia mati.
For Lackey, a sign sealed and delivered to this man with the heel up for
Yang gocak yang di Lotus aja dia tuh.
in fighting form. And in a
Oh yang bareng itu ya, tembak bareng.
Iya. Pakai klasik.
tagged up a little on a ranged fight, and what an adjustment from Munchkin.
Main track.
As now there's only 2 attackers standing, their chances are looking pretty slim.
Yeah, he almost killed Devi through the screen as well, so he's going to be half HP entering.
Aduh, nggak dalam, something.
A perfect reposition. This might be a flawless return to form as Devi's the only man left standing.
Oh, ada yang masuk dalam itu.
Talk about can he do any semblance of damage. As said, they invested some extra credits into this round, so the next round's not exactly going to be pretty. Normally talk about saving, but I think actually holding onto a gun here
Kasih
would have
dia
more
lagi
value,
ke
and he's just been
Gen
seen
sekarang.
and knowing exactly where he is now. I imagine there's going to be pressure
Datang-datang
placed onto
Joel
this man.
bangsat.
Blast packs could be
Aku
thrown
bocil
in, but it's just
Genji,
going to be the
bang.
entirety of the
Bocil
squad
Genji.
looking to just jump down upon him
Bocil tekstur.
within those last few seconds.
Wah.
One gets the job done.
Samperin 3 orang.
5 players alive, you know.
Bocil Genji.
Since the very beginning of some of these halves, Genji haven't had a problem when it comes to economy. And I think for this 6 to 9 scoreline, Paper X attack side, they get a decent buy out of it. And, you know, it might even seem weird if you look at the timeline. You lose after winning first 2. What's the issue? The issue is the damage done. 2 players alive coming out of both of those rounds. It meant constant reinvestment. And Paper X now left with a Stinger and a Sheriff. Light shields on most players. Heavy
nyampe.
play with an well, I mean, it kind of has worked because Munchkin fell into it.
Soalnya main freak nggak jarang pakai ini dia.
Sniper.
Masih magang dia.
Aduh.
That's exactly what Paper X does. These fast-paced plays in as mentioned, this was a weaker purchase. They had some pieces.
Yang ini ngedukung Genji gitu.
Nggak apa-apa juga. Yang penting kita bantai Amerika.
Gimana kalau Black Egg kita kick aja dari siapa ini?
Dia yang punya padahal ya.
Aduh.
Monyet, santai aja monyet.
Monyet bengong berdiri.
Di pistol sama main freak. Terus dia ngambil. Oh, gue pikir ngambil.
Oke doang.
Oke doang.
A challenge early on, and more importantly, a challenge with so many weaknesses on the board.
Gila tuh.
Ada backingan Sky.
A Stinger diving on the site, 2 kills out of a Sheriff to close the round out.
TB-in anjir dia. Tidak fight.
Jumping around the corner to find
Emang iya.
an elbow.
It's also now you've talked about it's 8 rounds in a row that were lost, an 8-2 scoreline. The difference is now just 2. That's how Greg's have managed to bring this. Going on to their favoured side, the B site under serious pressure. Half the team still waiting patiently. KANAN's reposition. It's sublime. He's managed to TP behind them. He gets away with murder. Brilliant from KANAN. We talked about the rank play into the
Biasaan nggak ngecek dia.
Iya, masuk aja.
Ngeceknya Heaven.
What a reposition from him, and clearly one that wasn't expected on the other side.
Again,
we fall back into the
tembok.
economy discussion around this squad. They've been sitting pretty, they've been looking fantastic. They were able to obviously rebuy in this round because of the damage done early on. And while
Si monyet kirain udah ini. Udah hilang dia.
PP lagi.
As they can now feel that it's getting very late into this game. We're at a stage where if Gen G picks up one more, they'll be knocking on victory's door.
Selamat, Pepper X.
Ayo Alek, gebrak meja Alek.
Iya, Alek nggak diliatin sih dari tadi ya.
Iya.
Mejanya udah rusak kayaknya.
Kayaknya mukul kameranya deh.
Like we talked about the duelists in this matchup, other than I'd say even Forsaken, they've actually all been a little bit underwhelming. It's been other players stepping up in this matchup, and I think that's really what we're seeing.
Ayo tiga round lagi nih sama.
But more so just that interplay. I think we're seeing much better fundamentals out of
Paper X
Gen G. It's
butuh
mostly been those
6 round lagi.
explosive plays from Paper X.
Iya.
Going on the back of a paranoia, everybody diving in together.
Ada yang komen rip the table.
A slight bit disjointed like that round. Keychron just
Pastilah itu.
Udah jadi meme aja, Alek.
Iyalah.
10-7, as you said,
Semuanya
everything
anjir.
here. Seekers available. On the other side, a Bladestorm as well for Meteor, but I don't know if he'll use that in this round unless he sees the value. An immediate setup for the paranoia, but this is a ruse. The spike is over on towards B.
Costly ruse, perhaps. Forsaken. The decay is going to fade, but he's still half HP, and Munchkin finds it too easy to deal with him. One well-placed shot, and he's down and out. Now we need to see the return for Gen G. Another is found, something falls. 2 rifles still in play. Seekers still in play. And a few flashes here and there. 1, in fact, just on Divide. Not a lot for them to fight their way back through with utility, but it's this man's position that might get them something. He's found another with the weaker weapons. This man's an animal. Oh, he's being put down for Paper X. They look to take it elsewhere, but those steps are heard. Meteor's in position, unbeknownst to them. You might have her trail, but it's a little more difficult to deal with her cleanly. Mind Freak, the last man standing, 1v3, and Munchkin's already spotted him. He's a known quantity with a flank underway. Munchkin just needs to buy some time, back off, and let his teammates take it. And gets this kill, he's got himself a Viper's Pit to play with. Or if he dies, I suppose.
That's the thing, he's literally just playing with him because he knows that flank is coming.
I
really love it. It was brought up by Lakia in the halftime interview that he believes that like playing with someone like Munchkin has brought a lot of depth to his own playstyle. And you can just see the intelligence even in this round. He literally just pulled Mind Freak towards him. He had no plans to fight him at any stage. Wants to just play the higher percentage play, and that's why Gen.G have been able to convert a lot of these advantages. And for Paper X, a lot of the time I don't mind these gambles, but I feel like Forsaken has a glimpse of hope. So you were just going, he has to get something. Going into the site, and it didn't work with him.
You know, the thing is for Paper X right now, at an eye test, you might think it's not doom and gloom. 11-7, 4-round gap, it's not that bad. It's a chance for them to fight back, albeit here with weaker weapons, but they've looked good there. The problem is, they've won 4 of those 7 rounds off the pistol and follow-up. Like, the injection of rounds early half looked like a much closer game than it is, but Gen.G have been dominating in rifle rounds. Now they've got 4 ultimates to fall back on, up against weaknesses, but no Lakia. A big opening kill for the side of Paper X. As Heaven might start to panic, might make a mistake, and with Munchkin inside the smoke isolated, that might just be the mistake they were looking for.
Oh, this could be big! He actually switches away! And it's just going to be the shutdown.
Wah, Meteor.
He starts off the round and ends it as well.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
This map looking over, as you said, in terms of buy rounds, we've barely seen anything. 3 of them, in fact. Well, guess what, Mitch? They need 5 in a row.
5 in a row, up against 4 ultimates, only the Blade Storm. Like, keep in mind, Gen.G have a full buy with Seekers, with a Viper's Pit, with a Showstopper from the shadows.
Come on.
So defensive side to close out the game. If you remove those ultimates, it looks like they'll close out the game, because they're winning almost all of the balls. The closer rounds for Paper X have been individuals, and they need to show up individually and together. 5 in a row needed, and the challenge
Monik masih di sini?
Masih di sini, nggak ada.
Nggak ada.
Dicabut ya.
Gara-gara refund.
Kacau.
Lakia in the corner, but they expect it. He's stuck in the mud. Good utility use in this round. He's had some magical plays, but they know exactly where he is. Well, it seems so. Munir goes bouncing past him. Now there is a flank, and no one really watching it, although it seems like
Lempar teman-teman.
was counting player behind. Also a 1v1 taken, but it won't matter in the end. A 1 versus 5. Some serious mistakes needed.
Oh my god. Oh wow.
There it is. The start of the way back for this squad. They've actually managed to deal with the vast majority of the ultimates as well there, Tom. Gen.G are left now with just a Viper's Pit. We listed all of them last round. They got used. They found nothing. So not only winning a buy round, but winning a stacked buy round in terms of ult economy. They've still got some left to play with themselves. The Blade Storm can help out. The Pit can win rounds. And with 4 needed, Gen.G are finally seeing some negative economic state. Oh no, that was
nggak ada lihat.
And it's a double. He's got his teammate Meteor with him. And they're absolutely extinguishing the flame of Paper X's early fight. This squad's going to have to go back and reconsider.
I like this. Just a direct counter to these A-side teams. One of the major problems. Viper's Pit, although they might just about win 2 duels. A little bit dangerous. Spamming. And because of that, being able to get rid of Meteor is a big pick. Because it was looking like map control and a man advantage for Gen.G. Instead, much more of a problem, and also bear in mind.
Apa yang dipilih Paper X lagi? Kelakuan.
This, I mean, that cam there.
Iya, apalagi map gede anjir.
clear the spawn, you see how much space they lost. Because this Viper's Pit isn't just stopping.
Harus makan pisang nih mereka
all of
makan
Paper
pisang
X's
nggak sih
plans.
ini?
Their plan was to blitz A. They get slowed, they get
Mereka nggak makan
stopped,
pisang
and now
kali
they
ini.
have to go back and re-clear.
Apa?
Even if there's not a
Bisa
player
bisa
flanking,
membantu
pushed up
mereka.
in B main, holding that aggro intel,
Makanya kue apem bang.
Kue apem.
Ah, biasa monyet nih.
going to be broken
Oh,
last
untung
second with
broken.
something down below, spotted and taken down. Gen G have the advantage. They're going to challenge.
Oh,
What a mistake that was. Welcome to his world with Munyet, the last man standing, and a free kill presented. He's got 3 seconds. He's found the 4Ks in the past.
Pakai dalam ya? Aduh.
This would be exceptional time. Good luck to you and good night.
Nggak bisa nih.
Yeah, it just wasn't enough there. And the fact is, the running through of that Viper's Pit with the spike, they needed to clear that man out immediately. It did not happen. A stellar map, losing both pistols and only losing 8 rounds. What a performance for the side of Gen G.
More impressive considering the player that we've highlighted again and again. That was a big talking point, not just from the desk, but even from the team themselves when they were being interviewed. And he comes out fragging. The calls were good. We had some good fake plays, but at the end of the day, this was a Gen G map. 13-8 doesn't sell it. This was convincing. And now they move on to their pick of Lotus after this.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle, you're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hey guys, Mika Fabs here, and I'm with Solo and Jen here to help with some translation. So Solo, of course, a lot of teams talk about how Paper Rex is a very shocking team to play against if you don't know them well, but Genji does know them well. So how do you as a team dissect their style?
페이퍼렉스가 익숙하지 않으면 그 플레이 스타일에 상당히 당황하기 마련인데 좀 젠지 같은 경우에는 페이퍼렉스 스타일에 대해서 충분히 잘 알고 있고 잘 분석이 돼 있잖아요. 페이퍼렉스를 상대로 좀 어떻게 경기를 풀어나가려고 하셨나요?
일단 페이퍼렉스가 진짜
Kenapa Pik? Lu ngomong apa Pik? Suara lu mendem anjir.
피지컬을 앞세워서 게임을 많이 하는데
Iya, nggak bisa bahasa Inggris.
지지 않는다는
Ya
생각을
bisa.
하고 있거든요.
Ini cewek cakep banget ini anjir. Udah punya suami tapi
저희도 공격적으로 하자는 식으로 많이 얘기를 많이 하고 있고요. 그런 게 좀 잘 되는 것 같아요. 네, 저희가 피지컬이 좀 더 좋은 것 같아요 지금.
Of course, PaperX is infamous for their W gaming, but I feel like Genji players can match up to their firepower as well, and I feel like we're shooting more heads today.
gaming.
So
Genji
we just came into this matchup with the mindset of fight aggressive teams with
Oh,
aggressive attitude. Don't be afraid to take those fights, don't give them too much respect, and I feel like we're just having a really good day overall.
Yeah, it's looking really good for Genji, so thank you very much. Let's see if they can close this out.
It's not just a good day, they've had a great tournament so far. I'm Yingsu and I'm back here with Mimi and Hypok. You heard it from Solo there. They're confident, they're hitting their shots, they know how to deal with PaperX, and Mimi, it's not looking great on the other side.
Yeah, to be quite honest, I think that Genji looked like a better PaperX in this game, right? They had the ridiculous individual moments, they had the pop-ups, but they also had excellent fundamentals. You compare the info these two teams were getting on their defense with the Sky Util. Genji was always on point with the rotations, setting up reclears, swinging together, whereas PaperX looked like a team who was, playing for the individuality.
Yeah, and the telling thing for me is Genji willing to step into that zone with PaperX, where, you have the flood pre-techs or, stacking up bodies and looking very aggressive engagements. Genji, we're getting down and dirty with them. I'm kind of coming out on top.
Yeah, you guys are hyped up the rookie KANAN coming to this a lot, and here he is in the Verizon high-speed moment, round 17. I mean, you gotta check your corners, man. You gotta check it.
This is exactly the sort of scenario that I'm talking about, right? Making plays like this, getting ahead of this execute. You lose to PaperX when you allow them to execute onto you, come up, play very aggressive and carry it. I mean, Tom nailed this as well, the cast. There's a sort of rank play that catches PaperX off guard because they don't expect people to match their level of unorthodox.
I think that's exactly the point.
Mana
They're used to
speednya
teams
anjir,
playing
gue
that
pikir
cowering in fear, playing for
bakal
flood
cepet.
retakes against a squad like this instead. Genji can give it to them. They're so willing to get proactive, to fight into these executes, and their site anchors were constantly staying alive, doing stuff like that, and actually buying time for the team to rotate over and help everyone out, which you contrast that to PaperX. Their players were trying to do the same thing, and they were getting owned by the executes.
Yeah, and you saw it in the vibes as well. After every round, they were giving it, they were shouting across the stage. And on the other side for this, for PaperX, as we take a look in the AIM Lab shoot-around, Monyet, again, he was kind of one of the players we were really looking forward to watching, but what else has he got?
I mean, he was looking pretty deadly at the start of this map here. Again, super aggressive, almost like in the pistol round. He forgot he was put onto the Omen. Still on the race for some reason, jumping in. But
masa
there's just a number of
Corsair segede gaban anjir.
you're looking here, and I'm talking about, some of the aggressive plays that PaperX made. They felt very disjointed. It felt like it came down to one person delivering at the end of that sort of play.
Segede banget Corsair anjir.
PaperX too strong on the front line, fragging together.
And I think that's exactly it, right? Like, this is a team that can rely on those moments against lesser teams, can rely on those moments against a team that's not familiar with them. But Genji knows them so damn well. They're used to dealing with these individual plays and not letting it get past them.
I mean, we've been here before. I'm not expecting a smile from this man, but I am expecting a solution. Let's hear what Alex had to say ahead of map 2.
Hey guys, I'm here right now with Coach Alex of PRX. So we did see that, although the team struggled on that map, once the side switch and PaperX was on attack, you got some of that momentum back. And we do know that the team is a very momentum heavy based team. So what do they usually need to hear, like maybe from you, in order to get that push, in order to get that swing into their favor?
I mean, usually momentum comes when you win some rounds, so I try to just figure out how to win the round. And then if it goes well, then we can roll snowball.
And I guess calm them down a little bit and make sure that they get their nerves in check, yeah?
Yes, so.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if Paper X can wrangle in those nerves and get map 2.
Alex, you've done this before. You made the comeback before. Come on, boys. I want to see them have some fire in their bellies.
Dude, Yinsu, we gotta get you down there. They need this energy for map 2 or they're gonna be in the lower bracket. Looking at this comp, what is this, Mike? The 4th new comp they've played on this map?
Yeah, we've gone back again. We've got the Cypher back in and Monyet back on the Raze, so I guess maybe that indicates we did see that on Split. He's going to be the front man here on Lotus.
This does fix the issue of having these flanks open.
Yes.
It fixes that issue. But I think there's another issue in this comp. You're lacking stall util, and on the attacking side, you're way more readable because you only have one piece of smoke util. I think that for you're gonna have to be very specific to make up for not having this Viper.
And the big concern last time actually is that eyes go towards Divide here. His inability to really have impact alone on his utility and opening up opportunities for Paper X in the mid round was absolutely it was absent last time with the Astra comp, so really going to be scrutinizing him.
Kenapa?
Well, Paper X
Suara lu mendem anjir.
Yang pas lawan itu doang. PCT kemarin tuh lawan Demon One.
Well, Yinsu, I'm feeling excited.
Menang di Lotus.
We should have a good game on our hands. Last time around, Gen.G won both pistols here on this map, and it was still a very close game with them barely edging it out.
Mas Fuerte, hagamos, gritemos.
And a map that they've put the prep into. For Paper X, it's looking like elimination might be on the line soon.
I don't mind the change back, because obviously this isn't the comp they played last time, but it is the comp they ran versus Heretics. I think it's slightly better for them overall. Still has something on the Jet as well, because they had a similar comp to this, but with him on the Reyna. I think this just allows him to do more damage. I like the start though from Gen.G. Oh, okay. They had that 3-man push initially, didn't expect anybody to still be around the angle, and because of that, they've lost the first battle.
One man down already, but the rest are rotating into the right spot. The read is good from the side of Gen.G as they move to the A site. Here comes Paper X diving a little quicker than expected, but there's the return. They're not expecting this many players to be on that defensive side already. Anchored down, and they're winning the fights, leaving Devi all alone. The 1v2, good damage done, and the follow-up, and he's out of ammo.
Kalau dapat.
Already, this guy's been sensational.
Kocak.
You know what? I'm not gonna be the coward. I'm not gonna go and reload.
Respected it.
I'll take you in the 1v1. Well, I'll win it out. And that, Paper X, that was again. We talk about the advantages and their conversions. What was that? 5v3? As they get, they don't convert the round. It's good work from Gen.G.
Suara lu mendem anjir, nggak kedengeran.
These are moments that you expect to be able to convert. Not the start they were looking for. And again, we're going to see the same proactive approach from the defense, constantly looking to garner extra control. And Paper X, they're going straight into the site.
Oh yeah, look, they're willing to dive. You can tell that as soon as Monyet picks up this agent, and well, he very nearly died to the turret. Good start, but Spike should at least be plantable. No nade left online for Gen.G. Nothing to really force these players out of the corner.
Spike planted.
With that sees, it's keeping him in position. It's only deducted about 10 HP or so because he was so low. Something you have to fight back through all these close range angles where Paper X have the numbers to play with on a lot of the fights they're going to take. Decent damage on the headshot, good follow up.
Wow.
For Gen.G, 2 players lost.
Itu baru aim lab.
Could have been much worse. Interestingly, yeah, something buys shields into that round. So maybe hoping that they could get a kill and he could steal a gun away, but doesn't.
Tapi kenapa nggak nge-heal Davai?
Textures was one off for sure round number 3. So
lumayan.
especially on this map, it definitely is a little bit more difficult for challenge for those orbs, but it might mean that we see a bit more of an aid push, an opportunity to find something there. Well, this is where we are going to get the investment. Forsaken is already bringing in an Odin.
Listen,
Yeah.
always said that, Tom, and he's just proving my point, isn't he? You won't expect this off rip if you're Gen.G, and a little bit of danger for Texture. That crosshair's lined up on his head, and it's done some damage, some serious damage by the looks of it. Down to 77. Texture's tagged, Lucky is dropped. And we can continue on with this match.
Forsaken masih gitu ada nggak?
Forsaken nggak pakai ini, rajanya Monyet.
Enggak, maksudnya udah segitu. Oh, kena Cypher.
Iya, dari ininya.
Expect that to pop as they move forward. No, in fact, it's just a double swing and the same
Nice.
thing there. Exactly. Clean trade.
Aduh.
Looks like this is going to be
Kata gua mau.
Meteor Has to try and find some individual brilliance as well. I think a little bit too predictable on when he'd make his move.
Coba lu cepetin dah, soalnya ketinggalan sama gua. Lu cepetin deh, kayaknya ketinggalan.
Lagi planting kan?
When there's an opportunity to
Lagi planting tuh, udah planting.
Udah dari tadi gua.
Udah cepetin aja.
Oh ya udah.
Not a position you're going to be clearing a lot of the time.
Enggak deh.
Player close is low. Devi and Mind Freak both playing without shields and with a bit of
Ini lagi ngeliatin Viper ya?
and also with no shields and no head anymore. This is getting very costly. The attack Munchkin.
Penasaran bocahnya.
Iya.
Time is so desperately low and he doesn't know where Devi is. The element of surprise gets Paper X the kill and the round. But at what cost?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Every single gun just goes for overhunting
Yang saya dicari
gun in the next round anyway. Like I understand wanting to earn those extra orbs up, but this is one hell of an overextension. Just constantly fighting versus a player that had a bulldog and Munchkin. Wow, you can already see him smack talking, and it's not the only thing getting smacked.
Mei jadi slam. Gila banyak aja.
Bete tuh gara-gara penasaran aja.
Iya.
To shut down the way back through for Paper X very early on. We know this is a map that both teams can pull to tight contention, but with Gen.G having done that extra work on it, picked it into this series. I'm worried for Paper X. It's early times just now, but with showstoppers online for both squads, we knew this was coming. Munyet's on the way. On the arch on the way through. Slowed him down enough and actually bought some time.
Blind
escape. And for Munchkin to round the corner, no one's going to go down to that showstopper, but it's claimed a lot of space.
Yeah. Oh, they don't realize how close Keychron is. He had to move because of the Tiger. Monya's going to try and aggress. This is risky. Multiple players on the other side. Showstopper, he should be dead. He actually
Waduh.
to catch one. Even still, though, for Gen.G, this is looking fantastic. Timing couldn't be worse for something either. It's going from bad to worse for Paper X. They need to find a miracle through these spams. At least been able to get one, but they don't know if the player's still on the spike. The second tap will definitely help them out, but it's no.
Iya. Iya, dia cuma tinggal nge-spam dong menang gitu.
They break back immediately. And while we mentioned them losing all their players, it's gonna hurt now.
Yes, it absolutely is. Now you see the butterfly effect of that. Well-placed showstopper by Textures. We said there were two online, only one found its mark. And then the chaos afterwards. Every time you see someone on Paper X, Corsair to look towards an angle where they've just seen someone swing, they've just lost a teammate, they get shot.
Kalau udah defense nih, hold aja masing-masing lubangnya gitu.
Gorgeous.
Iya, enggak.
Odin being kept through, Lakia going way up in my estimations, let me tell you, buddy. And the spams,
kayak ini aja, silver jaganya mereka.
Paper X have basically nothing to play with. 4 sheriffs.
Well, also they've already taken the control. That's the main reason. You've got Keychron aggressively up. It's allowed for a gamble rotation, so he's just moving that Odin elsewhere. Not the most common door to spam, because you are open to a couple of angles, but it won't matter. And this is the thing. We've seen this scenario many a time. Find a kill, TP back. Keychron is excellent at knowing when to reposition as well, so they can leave those spots open. This is ambitious.
Where is he going? Where is he going? He's made it just about around that corner, but well, that was risky. If they came through that wall, Tom, I'm not sure that would have went the way he was thinking. Spray good for Munchkins.
Di absen sama Munchkin aja.
Here, of course, we did weaker weapons. They don't have a lot to play with. They'll get nothing done. A flawless round. I hate to harp on the economy, but Gen.G
too easy, bro. Too easy.
It's feeling reminiscent of last map, but it is still very early days. Plenty of time for Paper X to find their footing. They don't want to waste time throwing rounds away. They've called a timeout.
That's the funny thing. We might actually get to the point where we can just highlight when Gen.G don't have money.
Yep.
We'll just save time.
Yep. It's the play.
They've had it the whole time throughout the series. I like the pause though coming out for Paper X, because this has been rough. And even looking back versus KC, they struggled when it came to this attack inside. A lot of that was a bit of a peculiar composition, but I don't know if this one's looking any better for them right now. Also, it has a lot of reliance, again, on this double duelist. And there was a moment or two at the beginning where I was like, okay, something looks like he's here to play. But ever since then, they're just getting boomed. And everyone on the other side for Gen G has looked utterly fantastic. In this round, at least, one off a Blade Storm. Showstopper, the only ult that isn't going to be playing a part in this round for either side. And Munchkin already having that Viper's Pit online. Clearly, this is a time where Alex needs to earn his money. Otherwise, I think PaperX are taking that fast track straight to the lower bracket.
We'll at least get that third map out. You know, officials are a different ball game to talking about regional play, especially against a team you've already played on that map. You're testing so many deeper things, and I think for them, bombing out like this in the uppers, it wouldn't speak well for what's to be seen, because Loud Sentinels, they're not going to be any easier.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't want to face up against either of those teams right now. Here we go, though. Again, early paranoia. I think this one is not really going to be played upon. I like the idea, again, using that haunt to get them space, but something, I think he's just going to disrespect the utility. Had enough of these pushes coming through. He is going to get pinged up. They know where he is.
Yeah, nggak lihat
He's already
kiri.
there to support.
That's it. They're trying to the Oath. They know it's not easy to fight from this angle, especially when the door gets open, and now he's dead. But that's what it's all about on Gen G, filling in the spaces and being able to fight afterwards. But with a return from PaperX, they've got a real chance. The headshot angle held by Mindfreak, but Meteor's just ducked underneath it, playing the limbo, and he's winning this game.
Aduh, udah fight.
45 HP.
Aduh.
And a trade turned to a nightmare. PaperX losing out on another. They had a good pacey take, managed to put the players on the back foot, and filled in every gap that Gen G were trying to stuff their way into. They always had someone to take that second fight. PaperX had someone to take the third. This time, though, they lose out when it comes to the post plan. Gotta say, they really could have used that round.
And this is one of those things as well where Meteor, the amount of times I feel like I've watched him just get both kills and his teammates still rotating. Like he's just so confident at this stage in his individual ability.
Soalnya
even just ducking
mikirnya cuma di situ doang. Nggak nyangka kalau ternyata di tempat lain.
Having some decent early trades, but isn't to be. And now, well, Blade Storm is really all we could talk about, and they're still ready for his initial play. Almost goes down, but has managed to dodge that singular bullet fired by Texture.
Yeah, the thing is that's sending them elsewhere. Forsaken was trying to claim some space by sneaking through. We saw good success for that. I think when Yad on the previous map was throwing out a few of those little feelers. But the idea now is you can't play up against that up. This ain't the round for it. Your Blade Storm's already gone, and everyone else has pistols. Close range, numbers advantage is the way to go, and they've done it. At least trading out the first. KANAN, though, he has been consistent every single time they've challenged him. This guy's coming up with multiple. 7-2 right now. Teammate ready to swing, and luckily, because KANAN was dropped very quickly. So too is Meteor. Hell, it's winnable for Divine, but his knife was pulled out. Tried to evade some spams or some... Well, players
habis pelurunya dia. Sudah apa ya? DP doang nih menyala nih. Per second nggak menyala nih.
Iya anjir.
Sampai something.
Baru ke 21.
Waduh, bahaya nih.
Gen G are consistently able to clutch out the late round. Again, as you said, ults are in their favor. Finances are in their favor. There's at least a lot coming online in this round. The side of PaperX. Counter operator going to be invested into on something. He has had a very quiet start to this game, and a reaction shot from Texture already puts down Munyan.
You see the idea as well? We see the aggression. We try to take space elsewhere. They're not because Gen G are getting aggressive, giving PaperX a taste of their own defensive medicine. This is a really good start with 4 ultimates to fall back on, 3 of which will help you out if you're in a pinch. PaperX, where do they go? Where do they take it? Maybe they can get a neural theft if they can even drop a body. And they cannot. A wallbang kill with the Odin from Lakia. That's something dropped. That's the op down. And he's looking for a little bit more. I don't know where they're going to take this on the attack, but I think I know what the result will be regardless.
Forsaken's been quiet as well and reposition. Nice shot at least. make things that little bit more interesting. The reveal as well will tell exactly where their opponents are. Knowing there's only one player here, the turret though, keeping things disruptive. And Meteor, again, full sprinting to help his teammate out. It gets close for a matter of seconds, but Gen G continue their utter dominance in this match. 7-1 on the defense. I don't know, yeah, second pause is going to be called for PaperX. At this point, I feel like they're running out of ideas. I also just did tidbit as well. Last 3 times, Gen G have won, played and won this map. 8 rounds on attack, 9 rounds on attack, 9 rounds on attack. They're 7-1 up on defense.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, I would say that's very bad if you're a PaperX fan.
That's quite poor. Yeah, and the reality is for PaperX, you're looking at the last time they played this map against this squad again. You know, I was looking back at that series, which worked perfectly for me today because it's the same maps. But the funniest thing is something. He was on the Reyna and he was popping. He was doing well. Will I say justified a Reyna pick? Maybe not. But we know on a good day he absolutely can. This time, I don't care what agent he's playing, he's having a damn tough time. 2 and 8. Compare that to Split last time.
Gue pikir si Rajanya si Forsaken, ternyata bukan.
Ya makanya tadi kasih posisi maunya.
Consistently, at least that hasn't been the crux of their attacking side. The problem is, literally 10 to 15 seconds in, it's 95. No control, no benefit for it. One guy goes down, that guy goes down, then they sit there with nothing to do.
Think about the spots that Gen G are also willing to claim. Like, they pushed out 2 players and all the way past Mound. They weren't even holding the deep angles anymore because what's the point?
And
they're
they pushed A with 2 players in the same round.
Yeah.
Right. So like this is the thing. You even peek your head out and you go, "Oh, are they rubbled? Yep, they are. I'm dead."
Yep, they're everywhere.
Now we have no advantage. We're playing
from behind B. It looks like they are. Insta smoke.
Tadi timeout ngapain anjir? Alek juga diem.
Waiting to see if the push will come through in that direction. It's going to allow them the fast take back of this control. Paranoia immediately put through. The trade's not off.
Wah, gua nge-lag. Hello, Pick.
Nice.
And an aid. And there's a snake bite left. This could be very, very dangerous indeed. For now, though, Texture's not deploying the nade. Instead, sitting down. Op in hand, 16 HP turned to 0. Nice shot with the operator as Mind Freak now has a nade below him. He's safe up top. He's got the angle, could even pick off Munchkin. That can make it winnable. But Texture's a little too quick.
I love it.
I didn't think he could fire off that quick.
It's just like, he's got an op as a negative. And then it's like, no, never mind.
Wide swings it. Like, alright, we're quick scoping now, but that's the level we've hit for Gen G. 8-1, Tom. Yeah. I almost wanted to say coming into this map, well, it can't get any worse. It just has. It was 8-2 at least last time.
Yeah, it definitely is looking like a golf in class. Which, again, considering this is the #1 and #2 from the same region, that we've already seen them play a best of 5 series. That was a 3-1, and a lot of the maps are close. It looks like Gen G have leveled up for PaperX. I don't know if they've fallen off, because that's looking like the difference between these two is not the same we've seen before. All 5 ultimates, by the way. Gen G don't need them. That's actually the point we're in. They don't need the ults. They're just winning the rounds anyway.
Normally you'd be thinking at this point, oh, let's just throw 1 out just to see.
There you go.
There it is. Okay. Cycle the economy a little bit. Here comes the big rocket. It's not like again and again, and they have. Lackey a drop, leaves Munchkin 1v3. If he wins this, I'm putting the headset down.
Yeah, I'm gonna
out of HP and they've lost Mind Freak. Okay, but it's all right. They've still got 2 players, no utility to play with. They're gonna just take these fights, not one at a time. That's the only thing I beg of you. Not one at a time, not up against Munchkin right now. He's 11-4. He's been winning round after round, but a reposition by Forsaken. The swing is
nice, gitu dong.
He wins the day, 8-2. Deja vu for PaperX. And well, Gen G got to be feeling
good. Tadi pas di split aja.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They lose the rounds, they use the ults.
Tinggal 2 map lagi nih. 2 map lagi 2 round lagi.
And again, a lot of this just came down to some brilliant individual play from something, finally putting a couple of kills on the board. The fact is they did peak Munchkin individually. First player peaks, dies, second gets dinked, and it's only finally they reposition. I think we would have needed a new desk completely for Alex if they managed to lose that round, but it's scary that it even got close.
I think just get rid of the desk, man. Punching bag with an LED screen in it.
Whose face is on it?
It depends on the game. Make it interchangeable. Well, Forsaken's picked off KANAN. That's a fantastic kill. Look how open the A side is, and they've made that realization. There's no further challenge. There's no utility. There's no reaction from Gen G. So Forsaken realizes it's wide open, and he gets caught by Lakia. That timing was near perfect. You have to, well, I mean, you can call it a mistake. At the end of the day, he was open to like 6 angles, so he has to just be clearing those, constantly being paranoid about them. The site, though, is lost, and PaperX will find the plant nonetheless.
Showstopper online, not wanting to allow them to set up something. He's going to try and get aggressive, but he's not going to manage to land the shot. Now, I think the flash through the back might have actually caught Munchkin, so he's going to actually reposition through B instead. Move away from the flank position. It's open. I think it's because Divide's having to check too many angles. The Seekers at least will give it away. Showstopper has been thrown in. He might get caught by all of the Seekers, but his teammates got his back, and that means he'll be able to kill off Mindfreak. The remaining players a bit of an obscure position. Munyet has not been cleared yet, and because of that, he's going to be able to deny the defusal. The spam doing so much damage. Onto Divide with an operator. First shot missed, but he just needs to kill the guy. Defusal. There's no time. Finally, PaperX. Rounds we've seen from them, but everybody will go down with the ship.
Well, it's the same thing as what we saw before, Tom, right? They're getting this little resurgence towards the end of the half. This time, PaperX didn't have the pistol to help them out. They weren't both on the previous map. They ended on 8. But here, they're doing it on the rifle rounds. They're doing it in the clutches as well. As close as they may come, it's still giving them that little bit of a heartbeat to continue on forward. Now, this round, the last of the half, Gen G come in with a Viper's Pit. That's going to be a problem to fight through on the defensive side, or potentially a very strong tool for retakes.
Man, it's scary when it's a Red Bull clutch that gets you your 3rd round, but as long as they're getting the rounds, I don't think they're going to mind too much. This clutch has now changed. It was previously KANAN being solo in texture, and his operator has been fierce.
Looks like they're going to go back into it. Is there a flash? Is there anything? It's just a dry wide peek by Munyet. Players up top looking to trade, but Texture's out of the angle too quickly. PaperX have given him another shot, and it looks like another bite of this apple. As around comes another, but finally the miss is there. Texture gets the reset though with low HP. He's dancing around, but he's being caught. There was no escape this time with Lakia falling. A real chance emerging. It looks like PaperX have finally woken up. They've found some punch to be packed. Let's see. Meteor's on his way in. Up close with a teammate further away. Munchkin's making a lot of noise. They're trying to find an angle to deal with.
Wah, dia bengong.
Into Meteor. Well, and try to force this 2v2 with the Viper's Pit. That was a little scary. Thought Munchkin was about to be spammed, but now they've got a lot of space as they close in the distance. No snake bites to play with, though. That could help out, keep them way out of this pit, and with the falling, it's done. 8-4 at the half-time. They found
tuh baru membara round 11-12 anjir.
The second half will be tough if they lose.
They're almost identical to what we saw in the last half.
Udah kelihatan itu lah. Dia juga lihat sih Forsaken itu.
Iya, kelihatan di mapnya.
Oh, kalau di map gua nggak tahu deh. Cuma tangannya kelihatan tadi. Tangannya si tekstur.
Nggak ngeliat si Forsaken. Soalnya masih ketutup itu.
Oh, karena dia terlalu dekat ya.
Iya.
It's like a stressful game. I feel like, for me personally, I feel like we are playing against ourselves because the way they play is kind of like similar, you know. I mean, trying to outsmart them. I mean, they were very good. I would say they are smart, and they're kind of like one step ahead, especially on Lotus. We kind of like way behind them. Yeah, I think we were taking too easy, I think. I mean, they did exactly what we were watching them, like in the VODs, like they play the same, like they're not scared, even though this, like, I think for some of them it's like their first time in Masters. And yeah, I mean, very surprised with how they actually perform.
Yeah, you're going to be put to test, put to task. Oh, that's rough. Blinded and Monye just popping off. Yeah, farm him up. Even spotting the right there. Over towards
Kemarin S ya.
Genji get. I mean, the good thing is probably we might be able to get some revenge. You know, I mean, we lost to them in the Pacific kickoff, and yeah, I mean, I think texture is giving us a lot of problem, like just killing us or like punishing us over and over. And also, Karan was playing insane as well, even though he's a newcomer. But I think he's probably like the top player in the league. I think the MVP as well in the Pacific kickoff. And yeah, I mean, insane. Yeah, maybe we go back and cook some strats, you know, to cook these two.
Well, Devi has certainly been cooking 15-9, exiting that first half, with the next closest player being something. Pretty good player, pretty well respected. He's got 6 kills, almost a third of what his teammates rocking. It's been tough for the side of PaperX. They haven't found a lot of success, but that little 3-round streak to close out the first half, it's given them a chance here. We want to see them take the pistol.
Yeah, we want this to
lebih mirip lu pakai kacamata.
Definitely has not been. Genji looking like a competitor for the crown, and thus far we haven't seen the PaperX that we know and love.
Sabar nggak sih, sabar nggak sih.
Might just be a deciding factor.
Gue deg-degan dia perek main aja.
Already pushing aggressively on the other side is something waiting for someone to try and make their move, and he's going to go back for a little bit more. Has to use the dash to get out of there, and is now waiting for the cavalry to arrive as the rest of the team swap away an opportunity, but for sake of
keeping the numbers in their favor, something needs to do a little bit more. He's done some damage, and there's the follow-up. A shot right to Texture's temple. That's going to put us in a 4v2 with PaperX definitely favored to take this pistol now. Forsaken fallen. A bit more of a chance. Something, though, delivers. Okay, he's up top and not spotted. Easy, easy. That's a 3K for something. Looks like even he's starting to heat up.
That's exactly what they need.
Menangnya jangan cuma pistoran aja tuh.
He's taken, and there's definitely risks about it. That's always been his playstyle. Even on a Gecko, he's basically an op main, so then get the finances built up early, get the orbs rolling on the duelist, which is exactly what's happened thus far.
Alex sudah no comment lagi.
Get that sniper.
Gitu dong.
This game can definitely slip back. As said though, for the majority of the matches we've seen, be it mostly in Pacific, Genji been much more consistent on their attack.
Pistol win then was essential for PaperX. Now the follow-up looks easy. Very little to play with for Genji, and even if they drop something, he's the player that's rocking with the pistol. So the margin for error's already been reached here. Any further kills will be costly, will force some level of reinvestment from the side of PaperX. But on the defense, they can keep distance, and with the buy that Genji have, they're definitely not favored on ranged fights.
Solo, but you can see the rotation already coming out from one. Jump peak will give him the info to go back in with that. This is a round that they shouldn't really have any opportunity to win. The weaponry not falling into their hands with the kills they've garnered, and the players they're pushing into are actually just going to start pushing into them. A good round from PaperX as they manage to bring things again. The fact is, it has been the buy rounds where Genji truly have been a level above.
Wow, just look at your screen. Besides something, this is a round that often you're going to look at as an eco, but 3 orbs away from a Blade Storm means he can force up here, buy an operator, potentially have a Blade Storm, even if they lose the round. Consistent he normally is with that op, I would definitely put stock in him finding at least the 2 orbs. 1 kill and a death. We'll see what he can get up to.
Belum menyala mereka.
They can gamble the control. They've got him holding onto the A site, an aggressive position from Munyet. This is not really the gun you want to have here. Somehow he gets out of there unscathed. They also had an initial setup for players outside C, but after that spot comes through, fading back. Now the cross has already happened, so something now pretty deadly position.
Main freak, why?
Meteor's a little bit lucky there to even get 1.
Top G, why?
To finally show It's ugly face. Ugly for the side of Genji as they lose a player.
And it's Texture.
The man
Masih
with
sih? Gue telat ya?
responsibility to take the space to close the distance.
Halo.
Munchkin caught him unaware.
Lo udah menit ke detik ke berapa?
Leaving it to a 3v2.
45.
Defensive advantage and
Oh iya
divine
bener.
walkabouts. He's been so
Telat
good.
anjir.
19 kills, looking for his 20th and his gets me excited for Paper X. That round puts them way back in contention because Gen G got an eco.
Early.
Don't mind this from Gen G. They have players lurking elsewhere. Trap just got broken on B. So now for Paper X, they have to be worried about the flank. You're not going to have Forsaken there to help with this fight. Instead, something has to do it.
BOSE texture.
Finds texture. That's a big part of this take. They try to seize the space within blast packing.
Awas, kiri dah file.
Left to try and trade it out.
Fai, kiri Fai.
Meteor's good position has been noted.
Anjir.
That trap was broken. They know there could be someone around here. It's why you see Divide
Belum apa nih?
Belum apa ini?
to come through while Munyet finishes this flank. Looks like they're aware. Well, they're very much aware that something is going on. I mean, Paper X haven't made a move. Why haven't they? Why are they not trying to fight for any bit of control? And that's not something they'll find an answer to until they plant the spike.
It looks like because they've spotted players near B and they're worried about their spawn, they're actually fighting aggressively. This could be a big win if it comes through. Nice work from Meteor. One bullet left. And nothing being spotted towards the spawn. This means they know where they are. The peek out is perfect and he goes back with the pistol. He does it Meteor's gonna confirm the MasterCard Thrifty. I'm always looking like a round.
Gun and one medium gun also.
That's what I said about this guy. He knows he'll hit the shot. For some reason, when it's him, a 2v2, and he goes, okay, I've got the first one, he always peeks for the second, and weirdly, he always gets it. That's the thing. Every time I'm sat there going, I'm ready to critique, and then he gets the kill, and I'm like, well, fine then. I guess that was the right play.
Well, uncouth, but it works this time. Certainly caught his opponents off guard with Genji 9-7 and claiming that round. Paper X have weaknesses. An operator in the hand of something.
Look at where he is.
It's not really an opping angle normally, is it? Oh, nice flash, that's good. But he hasn't got the dash anymore. It's faded out. But Munchkin, oh, the shot's missed. That Munchkin's been given a second chance at life while the showstopper is again just, oh, I thought just used for space, but if he fires it out close, no, he doesn't pull the trigger. And now he realizes his mistake as the dive comes in from Paper X. They've got a lot to work with.
The ult stone should be, well, in theory, forcing them back, but it hasn't happened at all. They went aggressive. Made this one problematic. Spike already planted at least, so they're going to have to respect it and just fall back. Munchkin still holding, and they have a pretty nasty potential crossfire just with the amount of time that can be bought. Munchkin is just looking at that clock. That's all he really aiming for, sitting back, waiting for the push. He manages
Nice. Halo?
to the second.
Ya.
Iya, telat loh.
Iya, gue baru lihat di YouTube ya, berarti ya.
In this second half,
Iya.
and they close the gap once again to just one round.
Twitch-nya agak-agak babi.
This game, this map, and indeed this series
He would
is
have
hanging on
killed
a knife's
something
edge.
if he just shot the bullet. That's got to be so infuriating.
I can understand he doesn't want to give away his position, but you know, if you make a decision there, do you gamble it, do you not? And well, he chose wrong. Chips on the wrong.
Waduh, dia ini gebrak meja juga.
Dug into those reins. The economy is low. We've seen Genji win low by
Ah, okay.
with one kill for Munchkin, one board, one plant. The main thing is something has got basically an all right now. That's a Yassine dash, but it works out for him. No punish. And the reposition
Nice.
gets him another kill. Swing out. Coming in.
Nice. Gitu dong menyala, anjir.
And you miss it. 9-9.
Nyala bosku. Gelo.
5-1 in this second half after what was
Anjir,
basically
keren
a scoreline where this
kameranya.
Iya, udah ngelek.
Anjir gila, something. Baru nih panas ya.
made this comeback happen.
Emang kelihatan.
Apanya?
Enggak, itu kepalanya si Viper.
Kelihatan anjir.
Jeli lu katanya.
Iya, gue sih nggak lihat itu ya.
Now we're starting to see players rise up. You were mentioning it, the distance between Devi and everybody else was a lot. Well, something has been closing the gap. I'm also just looking at Mindfreak.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking at him too.
Aduh, mantap.
2 HP left on Devi. He'll find it hard to get any
Nice,
impact from this
Devi.
point. A stray bullet enough to take him
Nice.
down. But he's caught Karen off guard. The flash covers his retreat. No more flashes, and they don't regen anymore. An opportunity still. No, shut down. 2 versus 3.
Nah,
Viper's pick could change the game.
They're trying to get in as quickly as humanly possible, but
Aduh, per
Meteor's there
second.
to defend. Leaves it onto something.
Lah,
He's
tak
had a
kemana itu.
resurgence. They just fall back to enable the reload.
No.
Never mind, he's just looking to reposition completely. I think they know exactly where he is, but somehow he still wins the battle. 3 bullets left in the clip, the pit's been dropped. He's already going to swing one, but he's now just out to the cloud.
Bawah.
Insanely
Aduh.
close. And it's
Aduh. Tipis nih.
There's no stability to be found for either
Mindfreak kurang anjir.
Iya nih, Mindfreak. Ada apa Mindfreak?
back by Gen G, but the fact that it comes down to
Pemain karetnya kurang.
Iya.
an opportunity still. No, shut down. An immediate answer back by Gen G, but the fact that it comes down to this, that the Viper is dropped outside the pit, and then that's the result.
Aduh.
This is one of those things as well. Where 2v2 scenario, the amount of
texture low.
Very, very soon, and Forsaken in the corner needs value. They've not seen him. He's good for one and down.
Iya benar.
Those could be very, very pivotal facts for us.
Nice.
Rex look to move back through. So many players are low. One extremely low in the corner. It's the Rocket to find him.
Nice.
That's the thing about that trade's all right. That's the low HP player that goes down. I don't think they're going to mind that whatsoever to put it back into a 3 versus 3. Something about to try and go through this.
Atas atasnya.
A little bit further behind. No flash available for Device, but it's just going to have to be the raw push. Already managing to retrieve a...
Ay.
Oh, do something!
Major worry here for PaperX. They don't have backup credits. They don't have anything in their pockets other than a Blade Storm. This could be the beginning of the end.
It feels that way, Tom. 2-round cap. Gen G in this series have just been miles ahead when it came to these rifle rounds. And again, it seems strange that 13-8, to talk about it as a dominant game. Yes, it is a strong scoreline, but not damning for the other side. But when you look at both pistols, that's a 4-0 start based off of coin flips. And PaperX managed to just about come ahead. When it came to rifle rounds, they weren't able to succeed. Push. It's not quite a rifle, instead it's a set of blades, and those don't even get fired off. They lay by his side as he falls to the floor. Something down, so too is Devi, and they're ready for another player. There seems to be nothing that PaperX can do to surprise this Gen G roster in the last few rounds. And with 12 looking like it's on the board, Tom, these players, they have to be feeling the crushing weight of this series. The lower bracket is beckoning them, and there they'll face elimination against the Sentinels or Allowed. There's no easier fight for them than a team that they know the devil they don't is coming.
Seems like PNG have got their number. This round at least was a weaker investment, but they had to use one of the ults and it got absolutely nothing.
Ya bisa gitu dong, Mantri.
That's where Gen G have looked their most fearsome.
Sampai comeback dong.
Ya, susah tadi. Salah.
This roster with risks taken. Players brought back who had been at a Masters right at the beginning of Valorant. A player
Tadi bagus anjir.
ranked. And players that have not found success elsewhere. Texture, one I think we can really highlight. Like in G, he was okay. But to go into a Gen G roster that's now playing for a minimum of top 3 if they win this match. Unheard of, surprising, and now looking like that pinnacle of Pacific. Looking to try and do what no Pacific team has ever done before. Take themselves to an international victory. PaperX are not dead, not down, until you stamp them out.
Definitely looking injured. Path to recover.
Susah 3 lagi.
OT in a third map. A lot of win conditions.
Butuh 5 lagi, soalnya kalau ini kan
enggak buat seringnya.
buat seringnya ya.
Showstopper. And of course the nightfall. Any one of those can open sights, pull you out of sticky situations.
Sabar monyet.
Door open. That was the defenders, but it's covering Munyet's push forward. Problem is, okay, good nade up close. That's going to force that player out in the open. Texture was covering it. And now the push on mid is spotted as well. 3 players left for PaperX. And it looks like they've still got to fight in them. Nightfall won't evade it. He's being caught. But, oh, it's fake information. The Shrouded Step has bought a little bit of an advantage for Mindfreak because he's still alive, his HP recovering, but with something down. Divide, very much known towards that spawn. Mindfreak's on the wraparound. Wants to move towards that singular door.
Wow.
Buy some time, still flash to play with. There it goes. It's popped and it's cleared out this corridor. Divide's even one.
What?
As a flash to play with, there it goes. It's popped and it's cleared out this corridor. Device even won the fight. The smoke is down.
KIRI.
Dah kalah.
Udah. Bye-bye.
Lower bracket.
Device just dodges that siege, but Mindfreak down. The time now. Not to be
No
played
time,
with.
bro.
Okay, no texture went out swinging.
Slow mereka berarti nanti ketemunya antara Sentinel sama Lot ya?
Iya.
And short of a big misplay,
2-0
it
anjir.
was never swinging the other way. 13-9 and 13-8, a consistent showing from the side of Gen G as they take victory over their Pacific comrades. It's on to the upper final.
Yeah, it is another huge statement play for Gen G. No doubt.
Aduh, asap per second aja deh.
But that's not the crown they're going for anymore. They said at the time their goal was to make it to the playoffs. Well,
Cari player ke-6. Cari player ke-6.
A team has said that last year
Tuh bisa berkembang itu si monyet.
didn't really give us excited about, and then bringing together a mix of players that maybe many didn't expect to do well, definitely didn't expect to get this far. They continue in that upper bracket to fight off and be the representative as they face Americas, and they send the previous a previous one of these events down into the lower bracket.
The second map, although only one round in the difference, Tom, this was definitely a much better feeling from the side of PaperX. They earned their way back in.
Tapi nggak terus sedih sih gua. Maksudnya karena janji kalau kalah sama Laut sih, waduh. Sedih sih. Kalah lawan Laut. Misalnya nih match-nya lawan Laut nih. Sedih sih gua.
Kenapa emang?
Iya, maksudnya selawan Laut kalah gitu. Kalau Genji gue udah menebak nih, ya susah nih. Soalnya Genji unbeatable kan kemarin pertandingannya.
Emang lo cacat?
Kan kemarin kalah.
Oh iya.
Pas ini lawan siapa kemarin nih? KC ya? Apa TH gitu? KC lawan KC.
From last year, they look like different players, even if they're in different roles. Some coming from the tier 2 as well.